So, welcome to Farming Simulator 2015 Gold Edition. So what's this game about? Well, farming, obviously. So, I mean, this is an interesting game. When I first saw this game, I thought, oh, it's one of those games you get, like you do with sort of, I suppose you could say, airplane simulator or something like that, or a train sort of simulator. Um, just that general genre. I mean, I always find it very uninteresting and quite boring. I mean, they're very simplistic games, and usually they're for sort of die-hard fans quite often of certain things like planes, trains, or farming even. But I'd heard good things about it, so I thought, well, we'll give it a go. The original one, that is, just not the gold edition, but the previous edition. And yeah, I thought it was absolutely great. I mean, do I like farming and that? Well, not really. Do I like, I've got a huge interest in machinery? Well, not really either. I think what it was about the game probably was it was just sort of, it was a bit of fun, and it was just out the norm from, blowing stuff up and the usual mad, fast, action-paced games. But it did actually turn out to be, and it actually played very well, and that makes a big difference as well. I mean, the graphics, personally, I think they're fine. I mean, things, like your equipment like that, fine. You will see a few people around in certain areas, and you will see sort of objects and things, and the graphics are going to be pretty bad for this day and age. I mean, they're just simple, put it that way. They're not like bad as in terribly made, just very, very simple, you could say. Something you'd expected in a game sort of 10, 20 years ago, something. But they work. I keep hearing a plane. I don't see it though. Must be all that cloud up there. But anyway, this is the gold edition, and this is a new map. This is designed to be like a Eastern European map. They had the previous ones. I think one was an American type, and I think the other one was probably something like Swedish map or something similar to that. So anyway, here's your vehicles. Now there is I can show you this. There's a, or maybe I can't. Hold on. There we go. So this is your machinery. This is basically the shop. This is all the stuff you can buy. Now, obviously, you farm. You either plant crops, or there is a certain amount of animals you can have: cows, sheep, that sort of thing. And you'll have your harvesters. So you basically plant your crop, grow your crop, harvest your crop, sell your crop. And what you do is you can click on this, and you'll have a sub menu. So you'll have all of these kind of harvesting kind of things, harvesters. Let me see. And as you can see, you go up, and the further you get in the game, the more valuable you get your machines. Now it's kind of funny because when you start playing it, you start off with something small, and you're eager to sort of try and get up to the next level all the time. So it has that element to it, and they all do. I mean, as you get into the bigger stuff, you're going to be able to gather more crops, make more money, and all the rest of it. Now, there is a thing, you do need to balance the books. So, obviously, if you're not making enough money, you're going to start going into the red, and that's how you lose the game. And the difficulty setting, I believe, is based on how hard it is or easy it is to make money, or you make less money for the crops, so it's harder in that sense. It'll tell you down here what sort of crops you can, when you're growing your crops, which ones these will harvest. The earlier on ones, I think, do all of them. As you get more up, they'll do less crops, is it? No, not on these. Oh, this one does. But it's a lot faster, I think, and it has attachments that can go on it, etc. So, if we go... Let me just go back. I'm getting confused here. I haven't quite got the controls down. It's been a while since I actually played the original one. But you can see this is all the sort of stuff you can buy. That's a bad example. Like plows. There you go. So you've got all these different plows, and certain machines will take certain plows. Some will fit on most things, others will have specific ones. Here you've got sprayers. This actually has increased the speed of your crops if you look after your crops. I think your crops can get sick, so you can lose some crops. And they can harvest or yield a lot more when you fertilise them. So basically you've got all your sort of different elements here. You've even got chainsaws, so you can actually go and do cut trees down, which is a good tip. That's a good way to make quick money to start with if you need it. Get yourself some logs, chop down some trees, drop them in the pond, and you'll make money. So we can jump into the vehicles we have at the moment, which is this. And if I can remember, see if I can attach this. Here we go. Using it? Nope, not that. Must be that maybe. Nope, that's the light. So I can't remember. Maybe if I read the top left thing, it'll help me. Let me see. Change tool, unfold. Okay, I've got to unfold this one. That'll be why. So, X. And then hire worker, H. So you can actually hire somebody to actually do the harvesting. What it will do, shut it down, it's a bit noisy. There we go. What it'll do is when you hire somebody, they'll literally, it'll go on autopilot basically, and it will cut this field. Now this will collect until it's full. Then it will have a flashing light on it where upon you need to empty it into a lorry. And of course then the lorry either goes to your silo, is it? Into storage, or you can take it straight to wherever you want to sell it. So let's jump into something else. This is a plough, obviously. And that is a rotavator kind of thing. This is what you basically start off with. Get out again because it is noisy. This is basically what you'll start off with and be able to make your crops, grow your crops to make money. So I'm going to do in this, I'm going to jump into this and I'm going to race off around the map and have a quick look about. Just check something. No, I don't. Sometimes you can get yourself a chainsaw and you can pretty much chop all the trees down. They'll give you different amounts of money. And like I said, it's a quick way of making some money, especially when you want to get started with the farming. Now you have to deliver your logs. The best thing is if you deliver your logs, I'm not sure where it is on this map, but if you deliver them to the place, if you cut them down as close as you can to start with. Let's just go over here. I want. So here's your field, or a field. You can buy this one if you have enough money. It says here I can't afford it. Of course I can't. And the size of it, you'll start off with smaller fields. You're going to have to plough more than that first before you can plant and all the rest of it. Now, there's your inventory. This tells you about all the stuff you've got, or you can get. All the details of everything you're doing, or statistics. There's a map. That's always useful. And here's all your, well, not your fields, but the fields you can get. So eventually you'll start with these little ones probably, and then you'll build up to the bigger stuff. All your vehicles, it'll tell you what you've got, where they are, in case you lose them. There is another, this tells you weather, actually that has an effect as well, so, and this tells you your finances. Now there is a screen for finance alone, unfortunately it's on my stop record button, so I can't press it. But this is where you've got to keep an eye on. Obviously if everything goes into the red, you've had it. Well, you're alright for a while, you'll get a bank loan, but you need to pay that bank loan back. If you don't, you'll reach a point, I believe, where you'll just go bankrupt. But the idea is to make money, so you've got to look at what crops to grow, because some crops will be more valuable than others. Right, let's jump back into our tractor. So this looks like somewhere you drop eggs off if you collect eggs from chickens. Can't do anything, so I probably don't have any eggs, but... Ah, there's some people. And I'll show you what I mean by basic stuff. You see, there's no, it's just a person that looks like that. There's another one here. And it's just to add a bit of, you know, life to the game. You will find vehicles. There's a female character here. That's all they do, and if you stand here, they'll just walk straight through you, or you can walk straight through them, so there's no collision. And they'll basically just go around in this regular sort of pattern, I believe. But this actually doesn't look too bad. You can't really go in any of the buildings apart from your storage areas, and I believe that's where I showed you the shop. There is actually a place you can go to. But again, you just click on it and it comes up with that menu. There's that plane again. Can't drive down here. Okay. It's an invisible wall. Just check where we are on the... yeah. But saying that, like I said, is a map. I suppose that's one way to sort of put an edge to the map. Instead of having nothing, you could just use hills as well. So as you can see, it's a simple world. It's a fairly, I say simple game. It's got a lot to it when it comes down to the machinery and things. You know, like with the weights, you put different weights on. You don't need weights for some things. But obviously of lifting and that, you're going to need to put counterbalance on. It all connects up. Everything sort of runs fairly smooth. The only thing that I have a quibble about with this game is that when you start it, I find the mouse is so... the sensitivity is nowhere near enough. And even if I've got this, I think at the moment 125 percent or whatever, way over the top, and I've got my DPI button on maximum, and I'm still having to literally pull the mouse around. I can go higher with it. I haven't done it yet, but that's the only thing. It's set so low. Now there is I think there's a third-person view, if I remember rightly. But don't quote me on that. Like I said, it's been quite a while since I actually played this game. And as far as the game goes, yeah, it's fertilizer. Oh right, that's where you collect fertilizer, obviously. Yeah, it runs perfectly fine. Like I say, it's very basic. The scenery and the maps and that, but they work. They look fine. I've seen a lot worse. I mean, you know, door textures and things. But that's not what you're here for the game. You're here to sort of farm, basically. So, like I say, you'll find your machinery is a lot more detailed. In the new maps, they've added new machinery as well. I believe they've added JCB stuff now. So, and if you want some light gaming, as in non-combatant and adventure and all the rest of it, just a general chill out game, this is perfect. It's an ideal little game, and I mean I would recommend it. I mean, we've tried other ones before. We did that construction simulator and a few others, and to be honest, they were awful. They run awful, they look awful. But this, no, this is a pleasant little game. Ooh. This must be for maybe repairing your equipment and stuff. As in, park over the trench, fix underneath some machines, stuff like that. I could be completely wrong, it could be completely something else. Like I say, I'm not familiar with a lot of these bits and pieces. In fact, I've actually learnt more about farming or the machinery at least, from playing this game. So, because I believe the machinery is based on real machinery, obviously. So, yeah. So, like I say, if you want a nice, easy, slow-paced game, this is the game to get. And I mean, you're, you know, you just plant your crops, off you go and do something else, let them grow, make some money, buy some more machinery. It's basically a progression game. You just progress through getting better machinery, getting all your fields cropped up, and that's basically all there is to it. I mean, that is what this game is. But like I say, it is a surprisingly enjoyable game, and like I say, when I first saw it, I thought, yeah, rubbish. But when I actually played it, I was pleasantly surprised.